Well, good morning, everyone. It's a blessing to spend time with you, and I have met many of you in person, of course, and it's very nice to meet anyone new here today. I live here at Ananda Village, and I started my journey with Ananda and with our guru, Paramahansa Yogananda, at Ananda, Rhode Island. So I started that journey in 2005, and have had the blessing to travel and meet our ever expanding global Ananda family. And also, just to say, Nayaswami Jaya is here with us as well today. I crossed paths with him this morning, and he was sharing how he very much enjoys spending time with Ananda Dallas. And so he's with us today, which after we come on camera, I'm sure Jayaji will would like to share a few words and meet some of you. So it's a real joy to spend this time with you. And I'm very inspired for today's satsang. After speaking with Supriya, we arrived at putting a little bit of focus around the Gayatri Mantra. And this is a very, very ancient mantra. This is a part of one of the first Vedas, the Rig Veda. In this Veda, there's 4 Vedas, and the oldest is the Rig Veda. And the Gayatri Mantra is a part of this Rig Veda, which is, one could say, the most ancient of the mantras that we practice in Sanskrit. And so today we're going to explore a little bit of the Gayatri Mantra, but also how does that relate to us on this path of Kriya Yoga as disciples of Paramahansa Yogananda, and what can we draw deeper in this very ancient mantra, and how we can go deeper in our own discipleship and our own spiritual journey of self-offering. So today we're going to begin with chanting the Gayatri Mantra. I'm going to just very, very briefly share a few words, and we're going to then visit each part of this as we journey together. And so the Gayatri Mantra, which is the mantra that we chant every Sunday at Sunday service, it's a part of a Vedic fire ceremony. We also chant the Mahamrityunjaya mantra. So the Gayatri Mantra is that mantra for enlightenment. And the Mahamrityunjaya mantra is that mantra for liberation. And so the Gayatri Mantra is that mantra, in summary, is that we meditate upon the 3 worlds, upon that inner light. And in contemplation of that inner light, in communion with that light, we ask that our intellect, our hearts be united with that source to set us free. And so Mark has put up the words here today. And so I'm going to just very, very briefly share each part here. So Om Bhur-Bhuvaha Swaha. So this first line here, Om Bhur-Bhuvaha Swaha, is really the 3 planes of existence. One could say the physical, the astral, the causal. You could also say past, present, and future. That triune nature of this world. But one way that I very much like also to understand this is that you could say that which is bound by space and time, and that which is not. And so we see that we're tuning into that omnipresence. And we, of course, start off with chanting Om. And Om is that all-pervading presence of Divine Mother's love. And it is that portal in which we enter into first, before we can commune with Christ consciousness, as our Guru said. Then the second line, Om Tat Savitur Varanyam. So this second line here is Om Tat, meaning that, and Savitur, meaning the inner sun, or that source of light, and Varanyam is that which is supreme, worth our adoration. The third line, Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi. So Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi is to meditate or to contemplate or attune with that purifying origin, that divine origin. And then Diyo yo naha prachodayat om, this last line, is we affirm that drawing that grace in our life. We ask through our self-effort, through our self-offering, that we ask, let our intellect, let our will, let our life be in tune with the will of God, the will, the grace of God, so that by this we receive those blessings and that grace through our attunement that sets us free. And so now that we have a little more clarity on each of these lines, let us chant this for just a few minutes together, and we'll chant it with the harmonium. I invite you, of course, as you're learning this perhaps for the first time, you can follow along looking at the screen, but at some point, close the eyes and feel the energy, the vibration of these ancient Sanskrit words, and feel that through chanting this, you're attuning yourself to that inner light at the point between the eyebrows, through the heart yearning for God. Feel the mantra illuminating this inner light ever greater, ever deeper. So let us now chant this together for a few minutes with lots of energy, enthusiasm, concentration. Let's take a moment now and just feel the energy rising from the heart to the point between the eyebrows. As you call to God, to Divine Mother, to Guru, reveal thyself, reveal thyself, reveal thyself. With ever increasing fervor in the heart of calling to God. As our Guru said, to give God the third degree of our hearts. Om Shanti, 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 Shanti. And so, friends, this power of the Gayatri Mantra, as our Guru said, give God the third degree of your heart. For so long I've heard Guruji say this in his recorded talk. What does that mean, to give God the third degree of your heart? I thought perhaps there's a missing part of my heart that I was not aware of. But of course, that third degree of the heart is that divine fervor that, just as a police detective interrogates the criminal with that force of energy to the point in which they receive that which they're seeking. We must approach God in this way, as our Guru said, with that divine fervor. And when we increase this fervor, as Yoganandaji said, that every day must be deeper, our longing for God, to renew the self effort, our devotion in our heart to call to God, then God will come. And so the power in which the Gayatri Mantra is in some way reflecting to us is something that we can practice. And how blessed are we that, as the Gayatri Mantra shows us, that, beyond all of the three planes of existence, beyond all creation, beyond everything, lies this omnipresent, this ever-existing, ever-conscious, ever-new bliss, Satchitananda, which is God. And so, as we meditate upon that presence, which happens, of course, within us, and we meditate on that supreme divine origin, that sun, and that sun, of course, is the spiritual eye, to gaze upwards into that inner light. And then as we meditate and contemplate and feel ourselves ever increasingly becoming absorbed in that inner light through ever increasing stillness and calmness of meditation, as we contemplate and we commune with that light begins to purify us. It sets us free from all delusion, all darkness. And in the Guru comes to the devotee. As Guruji said, that the Guru comes when God knows that the devotee is ready. Ready for what? Ready for self-improvement? Yes. Ready for deeper understanding? Yes. But books can give you understanding. Self-help books can provide you self-improvement. But God sends the Guru when he knows the devotee is ready for freedom, ready for enlightenment. And so, all of us who are here today, if you're new, you're seeking, you're learning from this path, learning the presence of the Guru. The Guru comes. The Guru means dispeller of darkness. It represents that guide for all of us, that the Guru comes to set us free, to be that friend, that divine friend, to help us until we get to our goal. And so then the Gayatri Mantra says that once we dedicate ourselves to this practice, then, of course, the more we attune to that source and ask that source for guidance, the more that source will free us. Now, how can we apply this to our life? The Gayatri Mantra is showing us that, as we attune to this inner light, and as we offer ourselves in that light, we're offering, of course, that aspect of ourself that is ego, which is, of course, that identification with body, with mind. And how do we offer this? Of course, we offer it through our practice of Kriya, meditation, service to others. One could say through all of the paths of yoga, of karma yoga, jnana yoga, all of these things. But also one could say that we offer ourselves, as also reflected in the Gayatri Mantra, is through our choices. Through our choices that we choose every moment. Is our energy flowing upwards to commune with that light, to offer ourselves in that light for guidance, for purification? Or is our energy going down and further becoming enmeshed in that duality? And so through our choices comes this ability to offer ourselves. Now, the first Om Bhurabhuva Swaha, this first line in the Gayatri Mantra, one could say, I was reflecting on this, and just taking past, present, and future, what is one thread that colors these three, the presence of the past, present, and future? One thing that sort of makes them up, that colors them. Well, one thing I thought of is choices. Isn't it so that our choices in the past affect what's happening now? And of course, we know that through our Guru's teachings that what we do today affects our tomorrow. And through our choices, we begin to have that power to shape in some way our life or cooperate with that divine plan. I was recently watching a video of Swami Kriyananda, who reminded me of a very powerful prayer that Yogananda gave to us. And I invite all of you to embrace this, perhaps this first line of the Gayatri Mantra, is to practice this prayer that Yogananda said before you act. He said you can pray that, Lord, I will reason, will, and act, but guide thou my reason, will, and activity to the right path in everything. I will reason, will, and act, but guide thou my reason, will, and activity to the right path in everything. So this prayer is saying that, as we attune of realizing the power of our choices, we can either be more in tune with that divine origin, or we can still be hypnotized by this world of duality. Now, a question I have for all of you to reflect on is, how many choices do you think you make each day? I was reflecting on this, and it's something that I haven't arrived at. How many choices do I make each day? Now, of course, one could say that, as Swami Kriyananda said, that, we're really only choosing either moving toward God or away from God. But how many little choices do we make each day, small ones or large ones? I don't know. I'll leave that for you to just reflect on. How many choices do you make each day? Well, I hope you don't arrive at too large of a number, but I think that we make a lot of choices each day. Now imagine this. Imagine if you just review how many choices you make each day. Notice when you have to make a choice, whether it's deciding what to eat for food, where to go on your free time, all of these things. Imagine before you make a choice each day that you offer this prayer. Lord, I will reason, will, and act, but guide thou my reason, will, and activity to the right path in what I'm about to do. Imagine that. This is a small step of embracing this ancient invitation for us to step deeper in that flow of God's will, which is ultimately interested in only one thing, which is our freedom. Now, the other thing that's helpful to know is, wow, time is going by quick. The other thing to know, I wanted to read to you this quote from the Bhagavad Gita, is that when we are choosing to commune in that light, to offer ourselves in faith, in trusting the guidance of this grace, this light, to know that God is our friend, the Guru is our friend. And in the Bhagavad Gita, this lovely stanza, Krishna tells Arjuna, "Today I have taught you, my devotee, my friend, the ancient science of yoga, the secret to the highest blessing for mankind." And Swami Kriyananda expands upon this and says, "It is a thought wondrous to contemplate. As the devotee advances spiritually, he is accepted by the Lord himself, not only as a devotee, but as a friend. The relationship with God as friend is in some ways the sweetest. For even the thought of God as mother, which many consider the sweetest of all relationships, carries a hint of the human presumption that God must take care of us and pardon all of our sins. As Yogananda taught people to pray, 'Mother, naughty or good, I am thy child. You must release me.' When one is advanced enough, however, to think of God as friend, there steals into the heart that sweet confidence by which one feels, 'But of course, you love me. I am yours. You are mine. How could either of us ever turn away from each other? We are one.'" And so as we offer ourselves through our choices and trusting and feeling that divine friendship with God, with the Guru, then you'll find that your will be guided. The choices you make will lead you to ever greater expansion. And the other here that I'd like to just touch upon briefly is Om Tat Savitur Varenyam. So this next piece of the Gayatri Mantra is that, that source of light within us, that which deserves adoration, that which we commune with, that light. One of the things I was reflecting on in the Gayatri Mantra is, of course, we have Kriya Yoga. And in some way one can say that the Gayatri Mantra, you could feel that the Gayatri Mantra is happening through Kriya, isn't it? Because in the Gayatri Mantra, which the ancient thread ceremony in India, which initiates individuals in the Brahman order as Brahmins, the Brahmin caste rather, and as a Brahman, you go through this ancient thread ceremony. And what happens in the ancient thread ceremony is that you're initiated into the Gayatri Mantra. And in the Gayatri Mantra, you're asked to practice the Gayatri Mantra regularly, every day, so that you create that anchor point in your life. In your relationship to God becomes clear that I am no longer seeking the desires and my attachments in this world, but I am remaining steadfast in my search for Thee. Every day, practicing Gayatri Mantra. And a part of the ceremony is that you offer water to the sun, symbolic of offering that your life force, the prana, to that sun that the Gayatri Mantra is referencing. But of course, we practice that inwardly. And through Kriya Yoga, if what you have right now is the Hung Sa technique, as you focus at the point between the eyebrows to that inner light, we're offering that prana, we're offering our life force up to that light, offering it for guidance, offering it for purification. And the more you work with the pranayama exercises, as you work with your Kriya practice, feel that your every Kriya or your every practice of Hung Sa is that you're offering yourself in that inner light with that sweetness of asking the Divine Friend, free me from delusion. I want only Thee, reveal Thyself. And then moving on to Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi. This other part of this is beautiful, where, we're drawing that grace in our life. We are asking for that guidance through our attunement and communing with that light. And the more we commune with that light, the more we become that light. And again, one of my favorite quotes from Paramahansa Yogananda is that the more sugar you put in water, the sweeter it becomes. So the more you spend time in meditation, sadhana, your sadhana is that anchor point that you practice daily. And as you keep that appointment with God, as Yogananda said, then the more you're able to commune with that light, because you get to know that light more. You begin to feel that light growing within you. And attuning to that light becomes easier. Because how do you attune to something that you do not know? Meditation helps us get to know God. It helps us to understand this sweet relationship that we always had and we always will have with God, with Divine Mother, with the Guru. And this last part here is Diyo yo naha prachodayat om. And this is that asking, saying, no longer am I traveling through my life alone. I seek thy guidance for purification. Attune my will, attune my life according to thy design. And one of the things here for all of us, I thought, how can we relate to this part of the Gayatri Mantra? Of course, discipleship. And I'll close with just sharing a few words on this. I'd like to read to you just one little section of the discipleship vow. And if you haven't taken discipleship, I invite you to listen to these words and to attune to the power of them. So I invite you to close your eyes. And these, I think, are some of the most beautiful words, the most beautiful message that I think for all of us to keep close to our heart as we seek God. And so in the discipleship vow, these words, this prayer: Divine Mother, I come before thee today, having long sought thy eternal light, long pondered the eternal truths, long followed the winding path that leads to thee. I have walked with my own strength all too seldom with thine. I have walked with the thought, I want this from life, these answers, that guidance, this pathway or that. But I have seen that as often as I have made claims on life, it eluded me. As often as I presumed on thy will, it turned away from me. Ah, too long, Mother, have I sought thee for myself, and not for thy love. I know now that without thy strength added to mine, infusing it, I shall never find thee. With loving faith, thine is the power, the grace, the infinite glory. With loving faith now I seek thee, through the ray of thy light that thou hast offered me. I will ascend to thee not by my power alone, but by the power of thy infinite love. I am thine, Mother, be thou eternally mine. And so, the more we recognize this, that we need the help of God, we need the help of the Guru, and all we have to do is ask. And try when everything else becomes complicated in your life. Remember attunement. Attunement as you seek and deepening your attunement with the Guru, with God, the more that all of these things that have caused darkness, that have caused problems in your life, you'll find all of that dissipating. Because as you attune to that light begins to illuminate, and as the darkness will disappear, and all there will be is light. And so the last thing I wanted to share with you is something very beautiful, that on Christmas we had a satsang with Jyotish and Devi Ji, and Devi shared something very beautiful and personal that I wanted to share with you all. Is she shared that in that morning meditation on Christmas morning, she came before Master and was praying to him and was recognized that all her life she's come to the feet of Guruji and has asked for his help, asked for his guidance, asked him for this or that, or to take away this or that, or all of these things. And she recognized that, Guruji, no longer do I want to come before thee and ask of you, anything, but rather I want to come to you and only want to give to you. And so as we embrace the spirit of the Gayatri Mantra, seek to offer yourself more through your attunement with your choices, through deepening your sadhana, through embracing every moment, discipleship. As Swami Kriyananda, who started all of these communities, spread Master's work so powerfully, so in such a colossal way in this life, through books and music and all of these things. But all he said was, I want to be known as a good disciple. And so that simplicity, that humility, and that self-offering to that light, to the Guru, for guidance, you will find that your life will become shaped by the Guru, by God, and you will be free in this life. So I wish you many blessings, that you feel that light illuminating your heart ever greater every day. And don't forget God in every little thing and big thing, and he will be near. So wish you many blessings and our Guru's blessings.